Because obviously coffee is really important. We can't have that sat outside. Hi everyone. Welcome. Hello. I'm just like giving instructions to we need to make sure that the coffee comes in the door this morning, and Amelia's gone out to get it for us, and I've locked the door behind her. She doesn't have keys, so that was the most, what's the word I'm thinking of, important thing to discuss as we're opening. Hi Tracy. Morning Rachel. Hello everyone. So we're all working. How is everyone? It is hot in here again, and I think it's getting hotter again next week, isn't it? I've been really quiet this week. There has been a lot going on at the shop. I'm a wee Scottish girl, and heat is just that humid heat. I'm making out that I'm different. I know everyone has struggled. I've really struggled, and it's really taken it out of me. And I know that I'm feeling really run down. I've got ulcers on the inside of my mouth. I've got 2 styes starting on my eyelid up here. That sort of rundownness stuff that we all get. And the problem with the ulcers is I can't stop playing with them, which just makes them worse. And we've got more heat coming next week. Woo! So yeah, I've been a bit quiet this week. As you've known, this was supposed to be on the last Friday of last month. Then it got moved to yesterday, and now it got moved today. We don't have anybody working on the patio or in the basement today, but we do have a crochet workshop going on upstairs. So there's little chitty and chatting going on in the background, which is lovely. But much better than people trying to cut tiles. Oh, do you want to see the new patio? I bet you don't. You're here for the yarn. I wonder if I could turn this round. You're on a tripod today, by the way, kiddos. Right, let me turn this round and see. So this is our new patio. Looks pretty much like the last one. It had to get replaced like for like. But new uncracked tiles. They've leveled it out. There's a little bit of grouting. Let me get you straight again. There's a tiny bit of grouting to get done in the far corner. So that's going to happen Monday, I think. And then he needs to cement around the edge, and then it's all done. The basement is done. So we've started bringing all of our stock back downstairs. Start of next week, that's what our job is, to get all of that reorganized, so that when you say to us, I want 8 of these, we know exactly where they are. We haven't known that for about 10 weeks. It's been like a treasure hunt. I'm really sorry. But we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel now, which is really good. Golly, it's hot right up at this window. You're gonna have to bear with me. I can imagine I'm gonna get sweaty. Anyway, how is everyone else? Enough about me and the shop dramas. I'm missing my I keep going to pick up my coffee, but I don't have it. How is everyone doing? Hi Lisa. Just checking to see if anyone has got anything. Morning. Hi Patricia. Hi Judith. Hello everyone. Amazing to see you all. Thank you for joining us. So if this is your first time with us at a Friday Inspo live, it's basically what the title says. It's usually on a Friday, and we give you some knitting inspiration. It is a Saturday this month, I've explained. So what we do is I very unprofessionally hold up my laptop in front of the screen, and I show you some patterns that I'm really liking. And I give you some examples of yarns that we would recommend for it, some swap outs if we've got any. Yeah, and you can ask us questions. If there's something about a yarn I've recommended that you don't really like and you'd like an alternative, you can tell me what you're looking for. Yeah, and any questions I will try to answer. We've had one over. What is the yarn? Oh, so you're saying right. This is going to be which right? What is the yarn at the back of you on your right? Can you tell me whether it's microphone right or non-microphone right? And then I'll know. It could be this. So This is Antigone. It's a French 100% linen. We adore it. We are getting low on stock now, and that is the end of the manufacturing run until 2027. We were very lucky that Celine got in touch with us from Durayrum to find out if we wanted some of their they've got 4 new colours. So there's no more of this coming in until 2027. What we've got is what we've got. Microphone right, so it's this one, perfect. So we've got a decent amount, but when it's gone, it's gone. But I have got 4 new colours coming in. They should arrive today, and it's a light camel colour, a really deep rich bronze, a sagey blue green, and then a neutral. There are 4 new colours they've added to the range, and she was like, I'll send you some I'm like, no, don't bother with the photos, just send it. We all love it. It goes really quickly, so send it. So that should be coming today. When it does, I'll get it on the website as soon as possible today, so you can all see it. I think someone there had said it was their first time joining us. I've lost your name now. Rachel, is it? Welcome. It's really nice to have you. So yeah, that's the plan for today, but I'm flexible. Ask what you wish. And I tried to get really organised last night, and I've got all my baskets as usual. And then when I came in and I was looking in the baskets, I found a problem with the tripod, Graham. Well, it's not the tripod, the floor. I can't speak. The floorboards are wobbly, so when I walk on them, the whole camera moves. Is Indy getting seasick? I'll try not move around so much. So yeah, we're going to start. Shall we start? Right, so first one is the Irina top by Mochi Knits. So let me find what angle to put this at. Is that the best angle for least reflection? I think so. Oh, again, if you've not been here before, all of the information about the patterns and the yarns I'm going to recommend are already on our blog, on our website. It's underneath Knitting Inspo News. If you go there, all direct links to the patterns and direct links to the yarns I'm recommending are all there. So you don't need to be writing any of this down. If you want to watch this again afterwards, it'll be on our grid, but we also post it on YouTube as well, so you can pause and rewind if you need to. Whew, I'm talking fast. So, first one, my wish. You might have to let Amelia in. I can't say because it's backwards. Irina top by Mochi Knits. So it's this really simple, thank you. This simple scoop neck vest with buttons, but the buttons only come down to the waist point, and then you've got this little open section at the back. Very, very classic. I'm trying to find another picture of a different colour. Really classic. And I love that shape because I don't have a big waist. My belly button's really high, but this is reasonably small, but then I go out underneath. So if I have it fitting all here, it can feel a bit stretched down below. But whereas with this, it's fitted up to the point where I start getting a bit bigger, and then it's got a really nice split. So that would be really flattering on me. I really like it. This is you can't really see, but this is the picture I loved. It was in sort of a darker version of this. Anyway, Mochi Knits. I guess one thing I'd be saying is sometimes this can make me feel a little bit nervous. I don't have a big chest, but having all of these buttons, it's always this bit I'm really worried about, if it's gonna open up a little bit, if I haven't got the sizing perfect. Tell me if I'm just the only one that thinks about that when I see things like this. But one of the designers actually just sewed it all the way down and then attached the buttons on the top, so it was kind of like a pull on top rather than having to do the buttons up, and that avoided that little problem there. I mean, I've bought tops and I've actually sewn them up just down here to make sure they don't gape. Sorry, I'm gonna have a drink of my coffee. Again, if you haven't been here before, this is what gets me through the day, through life. Oh, glorious. So what are we thinking about this top? So the Irina top, one of the recommended yarns is a silk, and we have a silk by Knitting for Olive, pure silk. It's a more raw silk, so it's not super shiny. It's nice and matte, and it's glorious. Now, bear with me, these balls are the display balls, so these have been squished and felt lots, so they're looking a little bit worse for wear. This is not what we're going to send you. They look more like this. But this is 100% silk by Knitting for Olive. This is the colour Watermelon. So my camera today is, I've moved out the way of the door so people could come in for the class. It's more dusty than this. This is looking quite punchy. This is quite similar, but it's not quite as intense. Yeah, my camera is definitely, I need to try some filters. That's pretty. That's pretty good. So that's French anemone, that's what I call it. How do you say the word? Anemone. I can say it right after somebody else says it, but I can't say it myself. Blood orange, watermelon, it's very pretty. And then cardamom. That's some of our biggest sellers. But we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 8. We've got like 28 colours of this. We've got loads to choose from. We've got loads of neutrals. But that would be my absolute definite go-to for this pattern. If you find silk and cotton on its own just a little bit too tough on your fingers, it's not that it's rough, it's that there's no elasticity. So when you're working with it, some people can find it a little bit tougher because when they're pushing the needle into the stitches, there's no give. Everything is very, not rigid as in stiff, but there's no give. If you really want something that will have a little bit more give, you could try something like Illimani Sabri or the Cotton Merino from Knitting for Olive. It still has a lot of summer fibre, so the cotton, but with the Sabri, it has a little bit of alpaca, and there is merino in with the cotton for the Knitting for Olive, which will give it a little bit of elasticity. It'll give you a little bit of give, so you're getting the benefit of those summer fibres, but with a little bit more give for your knitting. So, but this would definitely be our go-to for the Irina top. And breathe. I'm sure a speech therapist or somebody that did classes on how you present would say that I don't breathe when I'm talking on this. Is that nerves? I don't know. I don't know. We live and learn. Is there any speech therapists on here? I had a speech therapist when I was born. Not born. Couldn't talk. When I was young. Her name was Mrs. Lovelace. And part of it was because of my cleft lip and my palate. But the other part of it was my mum and dad had gran and granddad, and I had 3 brothers, and we all lived in the house together. And I was quite a late mistake, so I was quite young. And so I lived with all of these much older people from a very young age. And they were all really Scottish and talking really quickly. And I tried to emulate that, but it didn't come out well. And then I'd get really angry and frustrated that all the adults in the room couldn't understand me. So maybe that's where the quickness comes from. You thought you were coming here for some yarn and knitting tips, and now you're getting Carol life story. Let's move on to another top. Float Loop top by Other Loops. I've got quite a few summary ones today because it's just, I can't look at big jumpers at the moment. I love the shape of this neckline. I love that it's got quite a thick strap up here, but that it's cut away so you've got a bit of shoulder as well. I just really like the shape of it. And if I zoom in, just that little bit of texture, I think it's really, really pretty. And she has these sort of like little fabric patterns, and then she'll do it like in a t-shirt, she'll do it in a like a vest, she'll do it in a long sleeve jumper. So if you find something you like, she does that a little bit through a different few patterns. So, oops. Whoo! My coffee just missed some gorgeous hand-dyed loom yarn. Can I move this camera a little bit? There we go. So, the flow loop top. Recommended yarn for this, Cardiff Cashmere. Beautiful, 100% Italian. Cardiff, it's not got anything to do with Wales. Cardiff comes from the amalgamation of words that describe how they make the yarn. So the way it's carded, and then they use this process that begins with the word diff, and they've put it together. And I don't think they ever realised that it was in Wales, but it's got nothing to do with Wales. It's Italian cashmere, gloriously soft. That's a recommended yarn for this pattern. It's quite it's not expensive for what it is, but it's not like a budget basement option. And when you feel it, you'll totally understand why. But if you're thinking about a summer vest and you're thinking that maybe you would like something just a little bit more affordable and also maybe easier to wash, we do have this. So this is La Manna Como. It's 100% extra fine merino, so still super, super soft. Less than half the price per ball for this. Same meterage, same needle size, same gauge, same lightness, same everything, just the fabric's different. So this would be a more affordable way for you to be able to swap that out. And we've got more colours of this than we do of Cardiff Cashmere. So straight swap out for these two. Another one, and a customer got in touch who was wanting to make this, and they wanted something a bit more summery rather than merino. So we recommended this and it's working great. This is Vea by Lang. It's another sport weight. It's a chainette. So if I try and show you, it's not gonna, very difficult to see. So it's not spun, it's a chainette, so it's hollow, so it makes it really light. And it's a mix of 75% cotton, 16% wool, 10% yak. That's 101%. 74% wool. We got this in a range of colours. We've got brights, we've got neutrals. I mean, that green just sings to me every time I pass it on the shelf. It's like a muted pistachio almost. It's absolutely stunning. But we also have these dark colours. So I don't know. Oh no, it has come out. This is like a black blue. It looks a little bit black, more black in real life, but can you see the blue tint to it? So we've got this, and I think we've got it in a green, so it's the same thing. It's like almost black, but with a green sort of hue to it. And we've got black, and everything in between. So we've got these in a ton of colours. Very subtle sheen, and this is what this is made from. So if I try and show you the stitches on this, you can see it's not shiny, it's just a very subtle sheen. And it has got, it's not flat either, so it's got a little bit of depth, a little bit of interest. Really drapey, smooth, gorgeous against the skin. Wouldn't need to wear anything between this and you. Great for vests, great at 24 stitches. The stitch definition would be beautiful for this vest. So yeah, if you wanted to mix it up a little bit, I think Vea by Lang would be a really, really good option for that. It's looking for 23 stitches on a 3.5. Perfect for this. So yeah, Flow Loop top by Other Loops. Really pretty one. Let me just move on to the next one and grab another drink of coffee. What time are we? 20 past. Shall I check for some questions? Check for some questions. Vea green is gorgeous. I completely agree. And I think it's more beautiful in real life than it's coming out on this camera. It's stunning. I'm sorry, my camera is moving a lot. I can tell. It's just every time I move my weight on this floorboard, and I've tried to move it a few times. I'm sorry. Steph, I'm here. I'll come and give you some tips. Oh, for my oh my God, of course, you. Yes, please do. Voiceover Steph, brilliant. I think in my head, I believe that if I leave a gap or there's too much of a pause, that's a bad thing. So I try and talk quickly. I don't know, I think there's a psychological thing to it, but it'd be great to have a chat with you. I think that's, I'm now adding comments to my own live. Oh my God, what am I doing? There we go. Right, next one, Sashiko tea. This is really, really pretty. Very different to the last two we've seen. Got a little bit of a sleeve if that's something that you'd like. But I'm just going to show you this. Sashiko or Sashiko, I'm not sure how the correct way to pronounce it is. But yeah, it's this colour work tea, fingering weight tea, and it has these little, it has this colour work pattern, which looks a little bit like Sashiko embellishment. Really pretty. And if you go on to Ravelry and have a look of all the different ones people have done, people have like really like changed it up a bit. So you can change the colours of different sections, or you can just do this. Somebody's just done this top section. It's really pretty. Some people have done it up to here and then plain. You can, it's top down. You can decide where you're going to stop. Yeah, I just think it's very, very pretty. 2 colours at any time. So it's a lot of colour work, but it's only 2 colours. So if you were starting out with colour work, there's nothing complicated. It's the least complicated you can get because you've only got 2 yarns. So Sashiko tea. Look, I've even written little notes for myself because I make all the baskets and then I look at them and just think it's all just yarn. Which one's which? So there's tons of options for this one. It's looking for a fingering weight. The needles are 3.25, 3.5 and 3.75. I haven't got the pattern, but what that says to me, I think, the 3.75 is going to be for the colour work, 3.5 for parts of the knitting that doesn't have colour work, and then 3.25 for any ribbing that's needed. So yeah, and the yarn that they're recommending, is this the one that has a little bit of silk in it? Yeah, it had, it was a wool and silk blend. The silk will just give it more of a drape. So we have a merino silk and baby alpaca yarn, and we use this for the nomad tee as well. I'll grab it so you can see it. And it's this glorious, gorgeous, I want to say silky. The silk gives a bit of a sheen and more drape, but it is just gorgeous yarn, and I don't know why it gets really overlooked, and I adore it. Maybe it's the colours. There's like 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16. Like some of our yarns, we've got them in 40 odd colours. Maybe it's just not as many as the others, but these two would be beautiful. I think the navy is the main colour, and then the colour work is this sort of dusty orange would be stunning. This is 11, which I think is just navy, and then 25, I think it might be copper. That would be perfect for it. And if you wanted a more neutral, this is a really gorgeous, classy greige. It's the perfect mix of grey and beige. It sits right in the middle. And next to that really anthracite grey, that would be really gorgeous as well. We also have another, and you wouldn't need merino silk. I've just grabbed these because we've got some. Any fingering weight yarn you'd be able to do this with. This is Albertine. This is also a merino silk blend. The other one had some alpaca in it as well. But this, when I knit with this, it feels like, I don't know if you can see it, it feels like you're knitting with elastic. And it's just because it's got, can you see the really, oh, no you can't. It's got a really tight twist to it, which gives it a bit of springiness. And this yarn is gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. We've got loads of colours, but I thought this one would be quite nice. This has kind of got it's slightly on the lilac side of a really pale blue. It's called Petit Matin, and Amelia can't say it except she has to do like a little accent. I do it as well. We have to say petit matin. So petit matin and prune. I think those would be really pretty together and quite different from the colour combo that we showed you with the Lamana Lima. So that's Albertine. And then this one, I think this would work brilliantly for it as well. It looks like a fatter yarn, but you can knit it as a light fingering, or sport weight. It's got a loose twist to it, so it can collapse down a lot on smaller needles. And it's a mix of, I don't know what the percentages are, 75% wool, 25% linen. Again, by Durerum Natura. This is called Alice. We got about 25 colours in this, but again, for a different sort of colour aspect. And I think either way, actually, this is the main or this is the main, that could look really nice. And you can see in some of the darker colours, these light flecks are the linen that's taken the dye up differently from the merino. Really pretty combo. So that's Alice. So they would be my top choices. If you've got some hand dyed bits and bobs, that would also work. I wouldn't go mega variegated because there's so many little details in that colour work pattern that if you're using something very variegated, you're going to lose a lot of that. But if you were using something with more tonal or speckles, I think it would be fine. And I would just do a really high contrast between the two if you're doing that, if you've got anything at home you were thinking of using. This is the Ainsworth and Print hand-dyed sock yarn that we've got. Again, this was another yarn that we used for our colour work Nomad tee, and it worked really well. So I know these work really well with colour work. So yeah, that was the Sashiko tee. I think someone's elongated the arm on it as well a little bit, or you could cap the sleeve, I guess. You just have to figure out where on the pattern you're going to stop. You might want to stop just under, oh, it helps if I show you. Maybe just stop just under the stars and take out this last repeat of this larger section if you wanted a shorter sleeve. But lots and lots of examples of that online, so very pretty. Let me just check and see if we've got any questions. No, you're all just sitting, enjoying. I think you sound perfect. I love listening to you. Bless you. Yeah, I know that I've got to be I've got to be less critical. Can you show me the pattern again? I've only just joined. Oh, was it? So I don't know when you asked that. Just so that you know, this will all be posted on our Instagram after this. The video will also be available on our YouTube channel, and all the names of all the patterns with the pictures and direct links to all the yarns are already on our blog, on our website, underneath knitting info and tips or something. It's the last tab across the top. But if it was this one you were talking about, I need that on like a little banner, just like rolling across the bottom. This was the Sashiko tee. I think that's one you were asking about. So let's go to the next one. I'm gonna have myself a little coffee. A little coffee. Oh. I think you said you were going to show the Nomad tee. Yes, so that was another colour work one that we used. So this is the Nomad tee. So colour work, nice, got a lot of movement. The yarns that worked for this pattern are a lot of the ones that I've recommended for that Sashiko tee. We know they work great in colour work. This was actually knit side to side, so you start here and knit across, and we did a knit along for this, but the colour work is so pretty. Yeah, that's the Nomad tee by Unwind Knitwear. So the designer's called Rachel Ilsley. Right, let's move on. Let's do the Lily tee. So I have shown you this before. I didn't manage to do it in our last live because it hadn't been released yet, but I did have it in the newsletter, and I'm knitting it. I'll see if I can find it. If you don't know the story, I bought some yarn, I took a ball of it, started knitting with it, making this pattern, loved it, came in the next day to get the rest of the wool, and one of you lovely customers had bought it all, so, and I can't get it again until later on this month. So yeah, somebody else obviously loved the colour as well. So this is the Lily Tee by Calibri by Jonah. So it is a really simple raglan tee. You could stop the sleeves wherever you wanted, you could continue them, and it just has this really simple 3-dot little lace pattern. Super pretty, really elegant, absolutely love it. And we have a load of colours. Well, we've got all the colours of Pasquale, I think, in Suave. So the recommended yarn for this is this gorgeous thing here. So when I was talking to the lady from Pasquale, I remember her describing this as a little bit of an ugly duckling on the shelf, and I completely understand what she means. It looks a bit, I don't know, it looks a little bit matted and a little bit worn in the ball. It knits up completely differently, and I'll get my knitting out to show you. We've got loads of neutrals, lilacs, turquoise, pinks, purples, teals, black, cream, brights. We've got a huge range of colours. The colour that she uses in her pattern, I think we've only got one ball left of because all the cream just flew out. And that's on order with the colour I'm using as well, which is strawberry, which is like a chili hot red. And they should be coming back into stock with them mid-month, so I'd hope towards the end of the month that they would come in. But I'll go grab mine for the moment. But perfect yarn for it, knits up much different than it looks in the ball. But again, if you wanted something different, what we were talking about before, do you remember we were talking about this Langvea, which was this chainette of cotton with alpaca and silk, alpaca and yak? You could use this for it. It would, what would it be? It would have not more drape, just a different drape. So Suave is 100% organic cotton, but it feels like cashmere. It's been brushed, and it has this lightness of almost feeling like mohair. It's like almost not there. This would have more weight to it, and it's got a little bit of a sheen because of the yak. So you would have more of a silk drape with this, whereas the Suave would have more of a double mohair drape. Does that make sense? I feel like one of those people that's trying to find words to describe wine, and they're talking about their palette being hit by bouncing bunnies or something. But yeah, there's differences in drape. So let me get the one I'm making just to show you, because I think in the ball it looks like it might knit up a bit. Oh, I've got a present that I'm knitting in there. I'm not going to let you see that. So I haven't got very far, but if I just try and show you, oh, it's going to be difficult. But yeah, you can see how the lace is really beautiful. And these little sort of like pyramids of this. So this is, it's knitting up beautifully. The stitch definition is great, and it's just not there. It's so light, very much like double mohair. But something like Vea would be good as well, definitely. You just need something. Would I use Horse Silk by Jeppard? I think you could, but I think the drape, especially I think on these raglan bits here, it might, because of the drape, might collapse. You might not see it as well. I think I would definitely stick to these two. So that's Pasquale Suave, which is organic cotton. It's £6.95 a ball. It comes in all these crazy colours, machine washable, delicate wash. If you, very carefully, if you iron it, it goes completely smooth, or you can use like a mohair brush and brush it up and it goes all fluffy. Or something like Vea, Lang by Vea would be really good for that one. But I didn't get a chance to talk to you about that one last month because it was out of stock. We were going to put kits for that online so people could just quickly grab their size and get the right number of balls, and we would email you the pattern. Lots of people don't like using Ravelry or don't have a Ravelry account. If that's something you'd find useful, let us know. We're adding loads more kits to the website now. We've got a ton of petite knit ones as well that we're going through. So yeah, have a look. Right, I'm going to do this one and then I'm going to have another little break and see if anybody is saying anything. This is the Maze Tank by Lindsay Dagan, and I'll show you this in a couple of colours. So you can see it's produced, I believe, by the little stitches that make the details. The vertical stitches are slipped, so they stretch over the contrast colour. And some people have done it randomly like this, and some people have stacked them on top of each other, so there's like 3 big lines going down. I'll find another picture. This pink one is yum. Look at that one. So it's much lower contrast and it just gives it a really different vibe. Again, she's followed the pattern and she has these quite random all over the place. Little strap, but the straps are in enough that your bra would sit underneath it. I've got a real funny thing about my bra strap showing, so I either like quite a broad strap like this, or I like one where the strap is going to be over the bra. So this is again a fingering weight yarn. They're using yarns very like our Ainsworth and Prynne classic sock. You just need 2 colours. And I think there's like a ton of things again that you could use for this one. Is this my basket? Yes, it is. So, knitting for Olive Merino, no brainer. Fabulous colours, whichever way round you wanted to do them. I love a sort of a purple lilac with something more orangey or earthy. I think it also looks great with that. But yeah, I love those colours together. So whether you're using merino, cotton merino, or even the silk, no one that I've seen have made it with just silk. I don't know if I've done a slip stitch. I don't know if it's over 2 rows or 1 row, but if it's silk on its own, it's not going to have the elasticity again. So if you're slipping stitches to make them double, triple height, I don't know how that would work. I haven't looked at the pattern. So I might stick with mixes. So 100% merino or cotton merino, completely exchangeable, same sort of colour range, both by Knitting for Olive, but the cotton merino is 50% cotton, 50% merino. So you could do merino or cotton merino. And then the other one I was thinking about was Sabri. So this is one we spoke about before. Sabri by Illimani is a mix of cotton and alpaca. So again, it's got that lightweight summer fibre, but it's got a little bit of alpaca in it to just give it a bit of elasticity, which helps you when you're working. And they come in these beautiful, really deep, strong colours, and there's some neutrals as well. So that would be great together for that one. You could do our Ainsworth and Prynne that we were talking about. I've just grabbed some colours that I think look good together as a stripe. This is Kerfuffle, and this is Sussex by the Sea. And even though they're a little bit tweedy, they'd still look great in that strong pattern. And then I even thought about these. So this is Loom. This is a hand-dyed yarn, and it's a mix of alpaca. Sorry, I've got fluff in my throat now. Let me have a little drink. Sorry, guys. The dangers of working in a yarn shop. A mix of alpaca, linen and silk. It's glorious. We've sold out both times we've got it in. I've got a huge order. I think she's shipping it Monday, so it should be here Tuesday or Wednesday. new colours, restock of all the colours that we did have. This has been the most popular wildflower. I'm holding this. We've got 2 skeins, but someone's already bought it. So I need to, once I finish this, I need to put it in the packing room to go to America. No, Canada. Canada? I think it's Canada. Yeah. But it'll all be back in stock on Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on when it arrives. But this would be a lovely combo. Now, this would be really low contrast, but really, really pretty. You would still see those stripes and the slip stitch stretch. It would be really pretty. Or you could go, those would be really pretty as well. Any of these. This has got both the orange flecks and little bits of the blue in it. We've got a couple of more speckled ones coming in as well. But that would be really lovely. I'm showing it to you, but literally, so if I take, that's what we've got left in the shop. We had like 8 colours, 9 colours, 20 of each. They went within about 2 weeks. So yeah, if you're interested in loom, it is stunning. What I would do is I'd hop onto the website, pick the colour you want. If it's one of these, if it's not these 2, it's going to be out of stock, and that means it'll allow you to put your email address in. What that means is when it arrives with us and we type it into the system to say we've got it, you'll immediately and automatically get an email letting you know it's back in stock. It doesn't mean you need to buy it, but you don't have to keep checking the website, and you don't have to depend on us remembering to tell you either. It's all done automatically without any intervention from me, which is always a positive. This was another combo I brought out. This is very me. Sorry, I don't know what fluff has got stuck in my throat. Again, knitting, not knitting for Olive, Ainsworth and Prynne hand-dyed sock yarn. Very similar to what it's using in the pattern. So again, fool's gold and dark tide. Fool's gold and tide. Fool's gold is what I used in that nomad tee, so you can see the slight striations from the hand dyeing. Really, really pretty. So let me pop that down. This always starts so organized, and then instead of putting the little baskets back down where I should, they just get chucked on the floor, and then I get myself all confused. Yeah, so maze tank, 2 colours. I like the little ribbing at the bottom as well, really pretty. That's only come out this week, I believe, so yeah. Right, let me check for some questions if anyone's got them. What's your whip at the moment, or has it been too hot? Tracy, no, it's that one I showed you, but I haven't knit for, well, apart from a gift for a friend, I haven't knit for about 2 weeks, and it's that one that I'm knitting. I'm knitting that lily top in the suave. Like, I can't wait. But that's all I've got, and I don't know if part of me is wanting to wait and see if the new one that comes in, the dye lot, is similar enough for it not to annoy me. I don't usually care about dye lots, but if it was to arrive and I was to finish this ball and then the next dye lot looks really different, I might be annoyed. So I feel like I've just gotten a bit stuck with that. I need to start something else. What should I knit, everyone? What does everyone want to see knitted up? Let me know and I can knit. Currently knitting the Nomad tee with the green Illimani. Yummy yum. Yeah, Illimani is just so beautiful, and we had loads of people on the Cal knitting the Nomad with that yarn. It worked really well, and it was so light. In fact, oh, I've got one because I knit 2. So yeah, that's another Nomad tee. That's knit in the Illimani that I was showing you, which I've now can't see. This one, this is the Illimani. So really beautiful drape. Yeah, I knit 2 of those, but you can see, and it's a really light cotton, really pretty, beautiful. Suave is gorgeous to knit with. I'm so glad someone is agreeing with me. I get it. When you see something on the shelf, sometimes it can be really difficult to imagine what it's going to be like. That's why we've tried to have swatches, at least swatches of every yarn. We have them knit up on different needle sizes and different combinations so you can see and feel them, or we'll have a sample knit up, but it's not always available. Do you do online orders? Yeah, we ship worldwide. If orders are placed before 3:30 Monday to Friday, we ship them same day, next day delivery is standard in the UK. If it's going to Europe, we're IOSS registered, which means we calculate all of your import fees up front. You pay us, and then there's no surprises when it lands with you. So you know exactly what you're paying up front, and we pay them on your behalf. Same with America. It's all sorted. So yeah, feel free. We ship worldwide. Now and again, there can be a glitch on the website and it'll say, we don't ship to you, and it's because we've forgotten to tick a particular button on a particular area. It's usually a mistake. So if you do go to order and for some reason it's saying no, it's not true. Email us, we'll tick the box and it'll be done. Found suave tricky to crochet with as it kept getting stuck. Stuck as in, do you mean, I don't know what you mean, like as in trying to get your hook through? It's like a mohair or anything else that's got fluff. There is not a smooth, there isn't like a smooth section. There is fluff. So if you knit or crochet super tight, maybe I could imagine. I think with knitting it's easier because the stitch is already open on the needle, whereas with crochet it's the fabric and you're trying to push through maybe. I don't know, I'm not sure. Having knit with both, I'd say that was the perfect description of the two. Oh, I can't remember what I was talking about now, Lisa. Was it the drape? Was it, I'm trying to think what you've knit with. Via and Suave, maybe, I don't know, maybe. It's very nice to have someone agree with me though, Lisa. Thank you very much. Remind me to pay you later. That would be really good. We'd love a kit. Brilliant. So we got tons of kits up now. We're slowly working our way through them all, but for the Lily tee, I'm making it. I've just decided anytime I make something, I'll stick a kit up. So yeah, that would be great. Okay, I think that is beautiful colours. Brilliant. I think that's everything. Watching from New Zealand. Hello. Oh my God. Amazing. Who did the Lily top? Oh, it's Cabrera by Joanna. As I've said, like maybe you've just joined. All of this will be posted on Instagram once we finish. All the information about all the patterns and direct links are already on our website. If you go to www.knitwithme.co.uk, it's like knitting info and tips or news. Click on that and it'll say Friday Inspo Live. And if you click on that, it's got all of the patterns, all the pictures, direct links to everything. So you can go have a look there. And we'll also post this on YouTube afterwards as well. So you can pause and rewind, which is really difficult on Instagram. So I get that it's a bit annoying. That's why we opened the YouTube, so we could pop it on there as well. Right, next one. I never get to the end of them, so we'll just keep going until we run out. So this is the Sea Breeze by Lucille Atelier Design, and I think the colour's really pretty, but I think it can look so different in different colours. I'm not sure I like this colour on her, but what do I know? So it's very difficult to see. So it looks like a scoop neck tee. I'm going to find another picture just to zoom in, but it's done in 2 different yarns for stripes, and you can pick the same color. So what you get is stripes but in texture. So one is matte and slightly fluffy, the other one is smooth and with a sheen, or you can pick different colors as well, but I like the self-colored option. She's gone slightly different with the 2 colors. She's gone like more nude and then a slightly more pinky one, which is really pretty as well. But yeah, the Sea Breeze by Lucie Atelier's Design. my friend Lisa that's on here, I remember her sending me a picture. It must have just come out, and she sent me a picture saying, I love this. And when she sent it to me, at that precise point, I was clicking add to add it to the list of patterns to talk about on this live. So, very different colour tastes, Lisa and I. Very similar tastes in patterns. So, recommended yarn for this one, Arctic Pearl. This is by Pasquale, and essentially it's seaweed. So it feels and knits like silk. Has a very slight elasticity to it because it's almost a chainette. Again, it's really difficult. It's not just spun. And because of that, it's got a bit of give. Beautiful range of colours of this, neutrals, jewel tones, brights. So that would be the slightly shinier, smoother stripe. And then we've got the fluff part, which is, we've already talked about, Suave. Now these are the recommended yarns for this. And you can see if I hold those two together, these are the same colours in both yarns. I think they're different numbers, stupidly. 66 and 10, and I think they're probably even called different things, but they are. We have matching colours, so if you're not sure, email us or message us on Instagram. So the same colour, but you would have a matte textured fluffy stripe and then a shiny drape one. Really, really pretty. So I've just grabbed a couple of self-coloured ones. That's another one. So this is 04, like sunflower bright yellow, 04 in the Arctic Pearl, and then this is colour 8 in Suave in that same sunflower yellow. And then if you wanted to, just to show you the difference, so this is colour 02 in Arctic Pearl. It looks really silver grey on the camera, but it's got a little bit of taupe, green taupe to it in real life actually. And then we've got these two different colours. So this looks lilac on the screen, this looks greyish. They don't. They look very different in real life. But if I put that there, these are very similar in real life, but these look more similar here. But this is definitely darker than this. So you could take the stripes either way. And the best thing to do is to get in touch with us and say, these are the 3 colours I like. We'll line them all up for you, take a picture, send them to you, and then you can see them all together. It's quite difficult sometimes when you're flicking from picture to picture across, flicking across from page to page, trying to match colours. It can be really difficult. So yeah, if you want to see stuff together, we could take a picture like that, and then a picture like that, or one with it sandwiched in the middle, and then you could see what they look like. But yeah, that's Arctic Pearl and Suave, and to be honest, I don't think I'd mess around with that. I think it's such a perfect combo. You've got seaweed in the silky one, and then you've got 100% cotton in the other one. Super light, lots of drape, understated. But you could also go mad with colours. We've got like some, I've just seen 2 colours there. Bear with. Don't go anywhere. So I've just seen these 2 sat together on the shelf. Do we have, so yeah, the red that we're sold out of. I'm doing well here, aren't I? Showing you all the stuff we're sold out of, but just to show you. Yeah, so you could do the fluffy in this bright tomato red, and then there's something watermelonish about this. And then you could do the silk in a completely contrasting colour as well. So you've got stripes with texture and with colour. You could do whatever you want. We've got a ton of colours of both. Let us know if you want to see any of them together. Yeah, that's what we're here for. Just checking to see, creating stripes with textures. Yeah, I'm not the brightest neon person there is. And I don't like a ton of busyness on my knitwear. I can appreciate it. I love it. I love knitting it. I don't tend to wear it as much, but I love texture. And by doing something stripy where you're using different textures of yarn, but in similar colors, that's me all over. Absolutely love it. Really, really like it. So yeah, if you see a pattern and you just can't find a color combo you like, maybe think about even like holding a mohair with a yarn for one stripe and then without the mohair for the next stripe. There's going to be a slight difference in gauge. It's not going to be that much. And if it's roughly the same color as well, you're going to get something that's a bit fluffy, something that's a bit flatter. Yeah, really nice. Right, I'm going to do one more. I've only got 3 minutes. Actually, people that are here that have done this before, I feel like I might have I shown this one before? Tell me whether I have. The Elton. See if anyone, I'll show you. Again, this is another pattern by texture type thing, and it's the sort of beer garden once the sun's gone down and you've got a little dress or a vest on, and then your arms start getting really cold and you start getting uncomfortable. Having this in your bag weighs nothing to just pull on over. Have I shown this before? If I have, I'll stop. Don't think so. Right. We have spoken. Excellent. Right, I'm going to show you some options for this quickly then. So that was the Elton by Joji Locatelli. Brilliant designer. And it's one stripe is a fingering weight, and then the other stripe is a mohair. Held single, so you're not doubling up the mohair to match the gauge. And which basket did I have? So I had a few options. So for me, again, you can see in her sample, she's done the same colour and created the stripes with texture rather than colour. So it's completely up to you, but I like that. And I would probably go with a solid and then something with a bit of something going on. So you could go something plain for the fingering weight yarn, and then something hand dyed with a bit of movement for the other stripes. So I've just grabbed these because I thought they went really well together. This is Albertine in Aurora, sort of like punchy, peachy orange. And then this is Kerfuffle, Ainsworth and Prynne hand dyed mohair. So I thought they looked really lovely together. Or you could go the other way around. So here I've gone for a hand dyed fingering weight yarn, again Ainsworth and Prynne, not mega busy, just striations of those tonal flecks. So this is Don't Tell Him Pike, beautiful. And then I've gone for a plain mohair, and this is Knitting for Olive in Green Ochre, and it just picks up some of those lighter bits there. I mean, you could have hand dyed with hand dyed, absolutely. You could have flat with flat, but I quite like the combo of one of them having a bit of a mix. If you wanted, this was a really pretty one. Again, this is hand dyed in the fingering weight yarn, Sussex by the Sea. That's an Ainsworth and Prynne sock yarn fingering weight. And then this dusty blue, this is La Mana Premia, which is a mohair, silk mohair with a large amount of silk. And it's in colour 54. I can't remember what 54 is, but it's got a little bit of lilac in it, and you can see this is like pale baby blue, but then there's these bits which I think play better with that flat bit. That would be a really lovely combo as well. And then I had one more in here. If you wanted something really plain and cream, and I'm saying plain, I mean this is beautiful. Again, we've got a plain cream fingering weight yarn. This is Albertine again. It's got a bit of silk in it, really nice. And then you could pair it with like a neutral hand dyed mohair. So this is Milk and Honey, a really pretty mohair. And it would just make such a light layer. Fold up really small in your bag, Great for when you're going out and then you're trying to get home at 11 o'clock at night or 4 o'clock in the morning after a certain football game. Next week, 1 minute past. I'm done. How are we all? Any questions before we go? Because we got to get the shop open. The green combo's lovely. That was my favourite too. Twins. Love the idea. Are you thinking about the cardigan? You could also, it's a drop sleeve cardigan. So this is where the seam is, where you pick up the stitches to do the sleeves. You could do it short sleeved. You could just pick it up and do a couple of rows of ribbing with your fingering weight yarn, and make it like a little short sleeve thing as well, just over a vest or a dress. That would be really pretty. When we were in Scottish Yarn Fair Woolly Gathering, is that what it's called? I think so. We met some lovely ladies that were wearing this, and I fell in love with it and really wanted to make one. And Lisa's making one too. Lisa, we're mentioning you a lot today. Are your ears burning? Right, we've already gone past 11. I've talked too much. Any questions before I go? And again, you will find all of this on Instagram, on YouTube, on the website, everywhere. Just give us 5-10 minutes to get it up, though it takes a couple of minutes. Can you still block your garment using different yarns? Like, as in if you're doing something like this, absolutely. I would, and in fact, more so, because when you knit this on whatever needle, say a 3.5, and then this, the fabric is going to be slightly different. So blocking is your absolute friend, because then you can block the different textured stripes to the same size. So when you're knitting it, you might think this looks a little bit uneven, or it might look a bit puckered. Absolutely, blocking will smooth all of that out and will allow you to use those different yarns together. Absolutely. Great question, Jane. High five. Love a good question. Love all the patterns today. Oh, that's really good. Do you know that sometimes I'm nervous about doing this because I think they're all quite classic, simple stuff. None of it is mega crazy, and I always feel like I need to have a mega crazy one, but maybe that's not true. Brilliant. Tracy, wonderful as always. Oh, brilliant. Take care. You take care too, and everyone keep cool next week. Open as normal. Might be increasing shop opening hours in August. Stay tuned, and there will also be an email going out mid to end of this month with the new full timetable of classes taking us up to December. And breathe. So nice to spend this morning with you. Sorry for it being delayed, but you've only got to wait 2 or 3 weeks to the next one now. I will speak to you all later. We're here for any questions about anything we've done, but you know where it's going to be. Have an amazing weekend, everyone, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.